Meanwhile, trade routes are beginning to reopen this morning as tugboats have dislodged the bow of the Ever Given. This is the shipping vessel currently blocking the Suez Canal. This has been a major issue for global trade. Officials say that it will be fully dislodged later today, allowing the global shipping hub to reopen once again. Joining me right now is Harvard University economics professor and former International Monetary Fund chief economist, Kenneth Rogoff. Ken, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Look, global trade has come to a stop for the last couple of days because of this ship being stuck in the Suez Canal. Your thoughts on the dislodging that we're seeing, the beginning of the dislodging happening right now, and the idea that this will allow trade to flow once again. How impactful do you believe this has been, Ken?
Well, I think it's like a natural catastrophe, and so it has profound short-term effects. I don't think it'll have long-term effects, except to the extent it leads to a rethinking of regulation, rerouting. There are these choke points in global trade, and it's a little disconcerting to learn, that if one goes down, it can have such wide-ranging effects. It mostly hits Europe, not the United States, but with all the ships being rerouted, we'll feel it too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me ask you about policy, Ken. President Biden is expected to release the first portion of his fiscal year 2022 budget on Thursday, and then on Wednesday, the administration will unleash an infrastructure plan. We're expecting that the president will discuss this on Wednesday when he's in Pittsburgh on a trip. More than $1 trillion is expected to go toward improving roads, buildings, and schools, and fund climate change projects like green transit and electrical vehicle charging stations. This would be the first part of a two-part $3 trillion plan, with the second part prioritizing expansion of child care, extending Obamacare subsidies. Ken, your thoughts on this heavy spending? Do you think this kind of spending is necessary after the recent $1.9 trillion spending plan? And regardless of if it's necessary or not, what's the impact on the economy, Ken?
Well, he's going for the narrower infrastructure bill first because that has by far the most support. After all, you do have to fix your roads and bridges. There's obviously debate about how much of this is to really fix the roads and bridges and how much of it is to accomplish social goals. And I think that'll be what the debate is about. We'll see. The second part of the plan, obviously, is social infrastructure. And I think that's something where you really are going to need to think about showing you can raise taxes to pay for it. I mean, infrastructure you can borrow, you can pay for over a long time. The other's really, more of a transfer program, and they need to raise taxes. That's going to be very tough lifting, very controversial. I think it was probably wise to tackle the lower hanging fruit first, although even that may be trouble. Now, you ask, what's the effect on the economy? I mean, it's stretched out over many years, small really compared to the first big thing. And a big question, is there going to be inflation or interest rates going to go up? I think as long as Europe is paralyzed, and it is just doing terrible compared to the U.S., mainly because they had a terrible vaccine procurement plan. I think as long as that's the case, there won't be pressures, but that's not going to go on forever. And then we'll see once Europe kicks in.
Yeah, I think you make such an important point about Europe, and I want to get back to it. But let me stay on this inflation worry for a moment, because you've got supply chain bottlenecks, raw material shortages, government spending. Should we be worried about this move in interest rates? I know we're still talking about low rates at 1.6% on the 10-year, Ken, but this move has been so swift and fast. Yields this morning pulling back by 3 basis points on the 10-year, but this 1.7% level seems to worry stock investors every time we get there, Ken.
Look, I think a lot of why interest rates are picking up, and they're still, as you say, Maria, very low, is that the vaccines have proven more effective, and there are more coming on. It's really on the high end of what the predictions were a year ago. And that's the main thing that's going on right now. For sure, there's likely to be inflation in pockets. The question is, does people change their mind about where the country's going? Do they believe the Fed won't rein it in? The debts will go on forever. And I think it takes a long time to sway people. But of course, if we stay with this supercharged macroeconomic policy indefinitely, they will change their minds. Interest rates will go up. I think nearer term, I mean, it's overstated, the panic. Longer term, maybe not so much.
Well, the panic around Europe does not seem to be overstated. A lot of people were telling me recently that we could see a double dip recession in Europe. You just said Europe is doing very poorly. Give us your macro story and your macro look. Europe versus the United States. The expectations for growth in the U.S. are all the way up at 9% for 2021. Ken, how do you see it? U.S., Europe, Asia on the macro level?
Well, I mean, this situation in Europe is really very sad, and it really shows the bureaucracy at its worst. They just did the vaccine procurement, the biggest decision they've ever had to make in the European bureaucracy, and they got it completely wrong. Ironically, the UK, because it had pulled out from Brexit, felt freer to negotiate its own vaccine procurement and did much better. And that's really what's holding Europe back. I mean, there's complaints they don't do enough stimulus, but obviously if you have everything shut down, as it is in many of the major capitals in Europe, things aren't going to go well. But it won't go on forever. Eventually, Europe will come back, but it's going to have lost a year, maybe more, compared to the United States.
I see. Real quick, Brian, jump in here.
Yeah, Ken, just really quick on the Fed being able to fight inflation. You talk about their ability to rein it in. Are you concerned now, though, with the mounting debt we have, that the interest expense is going to get so high that when the Fed looks at reining in inflation, the first thing it's going to see is trillion-dollar interest expense payments year after year? That seems to me like a real block in terms of the Fed being able to do anything.
Eventually, absolutely, yes. It's going to be something that makes the Fed nervous, not just inflation, but the interest cost to the government. Again, this plays out in slow motion. Don't think of this as something that happens overnight. But, you know, if we continue on the present path and Europe picks up, they're certainly going to come to a head where the Fed's going to have to really start asking itself where it stands. And I don't know what the answer is going to be. I think they say they'll let inflation roll. Everyone trusts them. But eventually, the trust could fray.
All right. We will leave it there. Ken, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Maria.
Kenneth Rogoff joining us this morning. All right. We'll see you soon, Ken.